All right, welcome to the second episode of the Naps podcast. I'm your host, Astio.
Amalio.
And I'm Short, and today's topic in the NAPS podcast is about internet justice and how the internet merges into the real world and has an impact on propagandas and campaigns and so on. So I want to ask you to introduce our topic, and then we'll move on. We'll see how that dynamic
I think you
goes.
did an amazing job right there. So let's just
Fantastic.
start off with that. I think the internet is, an excellent communication method. That's what it is. It's really just people talking all over the world, and that's a really good way of people to distribute these ideas and get understanding out about these different kind of things that are going on in the internet and in the real world.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way, guess to show internet information is spread.
Information is power, and the internet is also known as the information highway. So it's like the power of highway or something. Highway of power.
Yeah.
The power
It also-
of ways.
It
The
also
power of
says
highways.
Well, this information going into the masses also proves how gullible and the communities can be, and the credibility of the information on the internet. I have some cases of campaigns that have gone into the internet, and then people
I think
buy
we need to
into
talk
them.
about. I think we need
And-
to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's-
I think everyone
let's get
knows-
into it,
All right, go ahead. You know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what
I
you're
think
talking
it
about.
Cody 2012 maybe.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
2012, of course.
So
I knew
for
it.
those
Great campaign.
For those who don't know, I don't remember the story. I see it mentioned all the time. In fact, I see it mentioned in school and all that sort of stuff. So the thing is, the story of Coney is this guy in Uganda who is taking child slaves. He was doing child slavery, and
And his name is Coney.
his name is Coney.
Mhm.
In fact, I think when I started looking at the Coney thing, I thought that Coney was like a good guy, and we were trying to like get
Promote
to.
20, it's like a
Promote 20.
presidential campaign, like Barack or Obama 2012.
Yeah, it's just weird that they would get the bad guy's name and put it in like the fucking campaign. So,
They
anyways,
chose to raise awareness. They wanted to make him popularized, pretty much.
yeah, it was supposed to be non-profit, and
Oh, they
the idea-
popular the shit out
oh,
of
that's
I think
exactly what I'm going
those
to.
little
I think
bracelet
that's the
things.
big problem
Oh
is that
my
they
God.
kind of took these horrible things that were going on and they just tried to make money out of it, which is
Yep.
Now,
and they did make money off of it.
Oh
Yeah,
Until he was caught masturbating.
jerking it in public.
Mm,
So
Jerking
Yeah.
at San Diego.
if we get back on the road on the topic, so
Hold on,
Coney,
wait, hold on. This guy was caught masturbating in public. What is?
Yeah.
you got
That's
yeah.
it. That's just
That was
Yeah.
actually pretty big.
Breakdown.
Pulled the Pee Wee Herman.
It
or
was like his
something?
breakdown, I guess you can say. He had a
I
mental
guess
breakdown.
people with money, they go crazy, don't they?
They just jerk on.
The money off innocent children. Son of a bitch.
All right, that sounds fair.
So I'm gonna finish the idea. So at this time, Reddit, and Gabe Newell said this: you can't really lie to Reddit. I mean, you can't really get away with false information. So I remember at the time, it was new to Reddit, and all these people were like jumping on it. There was like, no one in Uganda actually cares about Coney. In fact, some people think he's dead. So why are these people, making money out of this? And it didn't really stop people from supporting this. They bought the little kits with the posters and the shirts and all that
and the
bullshit.
stickers and all that crap.
All my Facebook friends had the Coney thing on their profile pictures. It was a fucking, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous when that happened.
It was
But
a
I guess
lie.
that kind of does prove that you can lie to the internet, but they
Yeah.
will eventually, the truth will eventually come out, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't
pretty
necessarily calling it lying, if we're gonna be completely honest.
Yeah,
Because
I guess.
the whole the thing of the child slavery thing is a real thing in
Mhm.
Oh,
all
yeah,
parts of the
definitely.
world. So it did raise awareness about that, but it
Mm.
was going about all the completely wrong way.
Yeah. It approached the right subject the wrong way. That's pretty much
Yeah.
the way to put
Yeah,
it.
yeah, definitely. Like, that money shouldn't have been going to posters and stuff. It should have been going to, like, relief funds or going there with machetes or machine guns to kill the guy.
Yeah. And like there
No, I don't
really
think
wasn't
anybody-
anything they
Yeah.
could truly do.
Yeah. They should have been hiring mercenaries. That's what they should have been doing.
Should have hired out Snake. Get him in there.
Yeah.
So, but that's just one case of
Or
what.
should even hire mercenaries to kill all the people that posted it on Facebook over and over and over again.
I was pretty pissed. I mean, that was like the news was like spread all around my school, like it was a positive thing. I mean, it is a positive thing, but at the same time, it isn't. So I was pretty mad. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's just a case of when the information
of
might
how
be wrong.
the internet can work. That's true. There's a lot of cases
Oh,
in
yeah.
which it has been done good. Like we had those SOPA protests,
Mhm.
which the internet blocked out and everybody was talking about it, and it seems to have at least delayed the bill, not completely stopped it, but a lot of
Still,
stuff.
it just shows the power of the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
That when
They
we
had,
band together, we can do a lot of good shit and
Mhm.
some bad shit.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And even some special interest groups could do some stuff. I remember when the whole SOPA thing happened, there was another similar bill going on in the European Union, and they had a whole huge protest. Like people gathered in the streets to protest the stuff, and they stopped the bill. They didn't. It's not going through.
Because we're thinking of SIPA and PIPA, they would destroy the free internet. What we know today for the internet would not exist. The stuff like this, what we're doing right now, any kind of podcast, there's a chance a lot of stuff couldn't happen because of anything.
Yeah.
Because of the copyrighted material they could talk about. And it's complete bullshit. Like to think that you could actually try and limit people like that? No, you can't do that.
Maybe the reason why they want to push all these kind of bills is because they realize the power of the internet, that they realize that if they got all these people informed and got the real information out there, that they could that could be a force against them. So they want to kind of prevent that as like a measure, a preemptive strike before it becomes a real problem.
Well, they've said the internet basically right now, the internet we know right now is basically like the Wild West of the internet, pretty much. Just like the old world, it's untamed, there's no rules, anything goes. You can find anything your heart desires on the internet. And I guess you do see some reason for it, like they want to keep some stuff off of it. Like there are some things that definitely should not be spread around, you know, but yet they are because people.
Right, but I think that kind of stuff is gonna that kind of stuff happens before the internet, and it's gonna happen after the internet. It's gonna happen during the internet as well.
But yes, I mean they want to try and get rid of some of that stuff, but a lot of it is to stop the bashing of certain people. Like a lot of this is for political gain. There's a lot of politician bashing and all kind of shit getting out about people on the internet.
I think
they don't want that kind of shit getting out.
I think because they're trying to stop this kind of stuff, they're trying to put a lockdown on it before it becomes a problem. They're making it a problem because they're trying to get rid of this freedom, and the freedom of that is going to fight back, and it's going to do more harm for them in the long run.
They don't realize how fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? But just how willing people are to step up and keep their internet free.
That's true.
I was amazed, and I have to say I haven't been a Reddit user for too long. While this thing was going on, I was starting to get really hooked on to Reddit, and the constant posts on the front page and all the overwhelming responses, it was fucking incredible. And when I saw the Wikipedia page being blocked and all these, YouTube and all these sort of stuff, getting together to actually act upon, they're trying to step up, it was actually pretty nice. They step up for the right things when it's to their benefit. That's kind of nice. When it's not to their benefit, I don't know. It's an iffy situation.
Yeah. Also, those big protests
the
protests that took out like Wikipedia and other big websites like that, that really gave awareness to the subject on a whole nother level. Like I knew a bunch of people like us who are internet savvy and that we pay attention to this kind of stuff. We already knew about this for months. But other people that don't spend all their time on the internet and they do I don't know what the hell they do, but
have lives.
No, that doesn't sound right. But they discovered it because of those blackouts, and so
they film the pornography we watch on the internet. That's what they do.
Oh, those are the people. Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah.
I thank them for that.
Yeah, at least they're doing something good out there, right? Yeah, the internet is an interesting place, and I think there's a lot of cool things that are coming out of it, and especially in terms of freedom and justice.
But
There's
Yeah.
also another
new
group
things will never
has
stop coming out.
there's another group that has kind of taken this internet justice thing to a whole nother level. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with Anonymous
Yes.
and their attacks against the Church of
Government.
Scientology,
Church of Scientology. Yeah.
where they would take all these issues to light, and whether or not that what Scientology is doing is bad, that's an opinion all in itself. But
Okay.
I mean,
We'll say it's opinion.
they strongly felt that what they were doing is wrong, and they were trying to put an end to that.
Mhm.
And it's almost like another platform. It's almost like going outside and picketing on the street, but you can also do this in a virtual place from your house in your underwear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always interested in what Anonymous is doing, and I mean I try to follow what's going on with the Church of Scientology and all that sort of stuff. But what I find amazing is that yes, there are the group that try to act because they feel it's right to step up, and then there are other people who just act because they're bored or because they just want to mess up something. For example, the same issue with Anonymous, after the event occurred, years later, people were still going out there and protesting, even after like the issue had kind of gone away, even though the Church of Scientology was still there.
Yeah.
So the causes of why people step up are, they vary, but
Yeah,
it's
but
interesting why they do it.
they also don't just focus on one thing. They do a lot of other internet kind of justice things where they take
They do a
one
lot of taking
person.
down the government sites too here in the U.S.
Yeah, that's true. But they also take out individual people who have committed horrible crimes. They expose them publicly on the internet, and sometimes maybe they don't do it as well as they should, but they're still doing it, and they have that kind of that
They
freedom to do it.
also don't always go through with stuff, but they
Yeah,
that's
do.
true.
They fulfill their promises.
I think they definitely have some
I like
organizational
Anonymous.
issues, but
I like Anonymous. I mean, I appreciate what they do, and I think it's great. They just maybe they shouldn't make such bold or steep of promises. Maybe.
yeah, well, they're kind of radical, and in the
Yeah.
sense that what they fight for, and that can be good sometimes, and that can be bad. But usually, I think they do it for good.
Well,
There's
there are a couple of bullshit things they've done, like take down little sites for no reason. But
Hmm.
yeah, for the most part, they do a lot of good. I wish they would just do things on a whim, like take down big sites. Like, you know what? We're taking this
Yeah,
motherfucker down. Just don't tell
like
anyone about it. Don't give anyone time to prep. Just attack out of nowhere.
yeah, I think they do that at some time, like
They
with
do, but as of recently, they've been doing a lot. They've been trying to get really publicized with it.
yeah. Hmm.
the funny thing about Anonymous is that there's a really blurry line between what they actually are and what people think they are. And I think Moot, for those who don't know, Moot is the creator of the image board 4chan. He has a pretty clear idea of what's going on, and that's why I admire what he does very well, since he's like the father of internet's anonymity. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Well, he
I wanna
definitely
say
tries
that.
to push the idea of people being able to say what they want in whatever way they want, a clean, unfiltered, well, I wouldn't say clean, but unfiltered place for people to share their thoughts.
Oh, anonymous internet has always been a thing, so you can't really say that.
I guess that's
I mean, people
debatable,
would,
I would say.
and back when you saw DSL and shit, people in random chat rooms under random names and.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess that's true.
It says the three biggest things that the anonymous group opposes are Scientology, government corruption, and homophobia, which is.
I respect that.
I agree completely why they're against it. The way the hacktivist group in itself, maybe the way they act or the sort of way they operate is a little bit questionable. I'm not sure I completely support it, but I do like what they do, and I do like what they do with, information.
Yeah, like sometimes they'll take a way too crazy approach to solve their problems, but
Yeah.
I guess they just feel that it's necessary to do it. So, Do you guys have any other things to talk about this internet justice? Any other
There's a
examples?
lot we need to talk about internet justice, but like, just before they just try not to go off task or try not to like keep it not going. But I mean, shit,
What do you want to say?
there's so much to talk about this topic, and I don't exactly want it to die yet. Just
Okay, well, I guess we could talk about Aaron Schwartz. Have you heard anything about him? He was in the
No,
news
inform
a
me,
couple
please.
weeks ago. Well, he recently committed suicide because he was being
Oh, I know
interrogated.
you're talking about now. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead. Go on.
he was a very big proponent on the internet. He did a lot of work with Creative Commons, making their licenses and pushing out the freedom of information. He also was a big part of the open access group for scientific papers and things like that. Because right now, if someone publishes a journal or a paper into a journal, they have to pay to get access to it. And this open access group, they want to make it so that all science is free. It's basically open, so anyone can read a scientific paper. And I think that's a really noble cause. But there's a lot of money in this business already, so there are people trying to prevent that. So
I
what?
know, was he basically bullied into a suicide because of this?
Yeah, that's exactly because they got him on. I think he was downloading some papers from a school. I think at MIT. I'm not 100%
Mm.
sure. Downloading a bunch of papers and making them freely accessible to other people. And he was being interrogated by the feds, and they basically bullied him into committing suicide.
That's a shame, man. He's one of the
Yeah.
people that are really big to what that was weird. Um, he's one of the people that really pushes for the kind of things we need with internet,
hmm
and the fact that he was bullied into killing himself is horrible.
Yeah,
He's the kind of
it
person
really
we
is
need right
horrible.
now.
I mean, I was looking into some of the things he was doing. He's done a lot of work with Wikipedia, and he really cared. He really cared about freedom of information. People who need information or want to learn, that they can learn without any kind of barriers. And it's really a shame that he had to go and die because it's crazy to think of the kind of things that he could have accomplished with a full life.
Yeah.
Um,
You know,
it
it's
is
the
a
thing.
shame.
They want to limit what you can learn from the internet, but we live in a time where you shouldn't want to stop learning. You should want to learn everything you can.
Yeah,
And the fact
it-
that there are people who really want to make this open, everything open to us, is great.
yeah.
You know, and
Like
that the people who don't want us to learn anything we can, there is a reason they don't want us to.
yeah,
And
because
it's kind of scary.
with information you get control. You can control
Hmm.
people with information, and so with open information, anyone can learn anything that they want. That just allows anybody to take down the king, or however you want to say it.
Hmm. Yeah. I would use King. That sounds about right.
take take down the
Overthrow
king.
the tyrant.
Yeah, take his throne, get his seat.
Overthrow the throne. Take it down
Wow.
to the ground.
Yeah. Um,
You know, it's such a
such a
weird
what?
topic.
Yeah. Do you have anything else to talk about that?
No.
No. All right. Well, if only
Short
Short
was.
wasn't temporarily gone, then he could maybe
Yeah.
fill in some stuff.
Hey, there
Oh,
he is, real quick. Hey.
You were
So
talking about
before
me?
we leave the topic, do you have anything else you want to add before we leave this topic, or?
I am sorry that I did not see the final note, but there really isn't anything else. I wanted to get to the core. I don't know if you guys touched the topic about why, you know, the masses or the communities in Reddit or, I don't know, Facebook, whatever, why they act or they so easily sucked into certain information in the internet to the
Because it's
point.
popular. It's popular.
Yes, but I mean, the internet in itself. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. But why the internet
I
in
think I got an
itself
idea.
can get people into buy into these ideas.
I think I got
And
an idea.
apart from the fact that it's popular, I don't see why the internet has such a great effect on communities and masses.
Okay, one reason I think about it, people like, to an extent, not sob stories, but sad stories. It's something that they can look righteous when they fight against.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah,
that's something that kind of drives it forward. Like the Coney thing. You're helping innocent children, apparently. Like, that's a righteous thing to fight for.
yeah.
And that got really popular. More and more people joined in. And it's like I said, popularity. And to look like a hero is what people really
Yeah.
want.
I think popularity is a really big thing on the internet. I've heard from one person say someone from Google saying that what you find on Google isn't necessarily right. It's what's popular that gets put to the top.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah,
so
like people like to see what popular searches are and say, oh, here's a picture. Like, that's because it's popular. I mean, not that it doesn't mean people are actually caring about it. It's just popular.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
popular and caring, I think those two kind of go hand in hand. But
To an extent, we also got to think though that people wouldn't care that much. They just wondering what the fuck everyone's talking about. They could not care. They just wonder what the fuck is so popular, or what's so popular, why it is, what it is.
why it's so popular, right?
Yeah,
What about this?
that's a lot of it
Why
comes
are
from
people talking
why
about
the
this
fuck
issue?
is this so popular? What the fuck is it? That's
Yeah.
basically what they're looking for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
Popularity.
I guess for every topic, I'll try to maybe get to the core of it. Maybe it may become a usual thing. I don't know. But it is nice that I'm always amazed at the power of the internet. I mean, this just being in this Google Hangout thing with someone from Canada and someone from the U.S. It's just fucking out of this world considering the country I'm in. And
Uganda.
you Mexico.
Army. He's part of Kobe's army.
Uganda is just down the street.
So yeah, I mean, I'm astonished that this is even occurring. I mean, and I don't think that generations before this might have even thought. Oh,
I'm really looking forward to seeing what will come in the future from the internet and how things will get even better. If like this is amazing now, imagine how amazing it'll be in 10 years or even 100 years.
Oh yeah, it's kind of awesome to look forward to.
Yeah, I know I'm looking forward to it.
And the final thing I want to say is the internet does have power for people to act out on the real world, which was the topic of today. But a whole different story is how the internet's information can change people's mind. I have changed a lot as a person and what I believe in and what I think about, or think the way I think, due to the internet, due to websites, Reddit, whatever. And yes, I mean, a part of me was the same when I got here and who I am today, but a lot has changed ever since.
But you're saying that the information that you can acquire on the internet is really beneficial and has opened your mind in several ways.
The information, the opinions, blogs, whatever, and everything is just, it drastically changes some aspects of my life. In that case, I don't know about you guys, but
it's I love being
internet's
exposed to new
definitely,
opinions and new ideas.
I mean, the internet definitely helped me shape who I am right now. Like you say, I definitely didn't have a lot of the opinions I did have before I became majorly into internet culture. Like, even the last couple of years, my whole dynamic has changed a lot.
Do you have any examples to provide, or?
Huh?
Do you have any examples of like that? All right,
off the top of your head, no.
Whatever. Just my
mindset
of thinking.
It's just in every way. I mean, even you guys have shaped my life in some sort of way, and that came from the internet. So those are things.
I think that's only natural. If you spend enough time around something, you'll start to be shaped by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think my attention span has kind of shrunk ever since I've started spending so much time on the internet.
No, that's also for every good there's a bad, and that's one of the bads.
Yeah, or maybe it's really good. Who knows?
I wouldn't call it bad. Necessarily.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
All right. So, do you guys have anything else to say about internet justice?
No.
I was going to say your popularity thing. You talk about the Harlem Shake.
Oh, the Harlem Shake.
No, do the Harlem Shake. I love those videos. I mean, that's like I said earlier, popularity.
Yeah, there you go.
People
popularity.
are going to keep on fucking doing it.
Yeah, it's gonna be like the next I don't know.
Style.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just getting really
I
popular.
think Harlem Shake is bigger than Gangnam Style because people are making their own videos. People aren't making
No,
their
that's
own
true.
Gangnam Style
That's
videos.
true.
Yeah.
Actually, my friends want to make a Harlem Shake video one day.
I know
So I
people who want
might
to
be
make a
one of
Harlem Shake
those.
video too.
Huh?
I know people who want to make a Harlem Shake video too.
I'll probably end up dancing in the middle of a room, shirtless and pantless, whatever. It'd be
All right.
great.
I want to watch that.
Yeah.
Of course.
So now we transition to, I guess Ollie is going to start. So
We're gonna talk about news now.
news, the
Gaming
news segment. Well,
What's-
now it's a hybrid of opinions and a bunch
Opinion,
bunch
fact,
of
and
shit.
utter
We're just-
bullshit.
It's gonna be a whole crap load of information coming straight at you.
Yeah.
Definitely. So, guys, have you guys heard about the game yet? Aliens Colonial Marines.
I heard about it this morning when you told me about it.
Oh, sure. You're more into the gaming thing. I'm sure you've heard about this game.
No, I haven't actually. No.
No? Really?
No, I haven't.
Okay,
no.
well then. So last E3, there was a trailer shown for this game. It's been like 6 years in development, I think. But the last E3, there was a trailer shown for this game, and the game looked absolutely incredible.
I'm sorry, is it the same game I'm thinking of? Did you already say the name?
Yeah, he said aliens.
Colonial Marines.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Aliens.
It's the one that the internet's been in a rage about since.
Okay, I think I've heard about it in V or
You
something.
probably have.
Yeah.
Aliens.
But yeah, it's like this game was basically supposed to turn around the whole concept of that all movie franchise games are shit. This game was supposed to change that, show that they were good, they're going to be good again. And you know, the game came out nothing like it was anticipated to, nothing at all. All the scenes that they showed, the scenes they showed in the trailer demo, a single one were in it. All the little scenes, none of it.
That's horrible.
The
I hate when
gameplay is so different. It's so clunky. It's utter shit. And I was gonna buy this game, and I'm so happy I didn't pre-order it.
Oh, well, that's
Nice.
And
Yeah, I don't like pre-ordering stuff unless I know it's gonna be fucking fantastic, and I've played the previous
you can
games.
never know. But
Yeah.
the thing is, though, there's so many people involved with this game, and it was outsourced so many times. Okay, so it's supposed to be made and developed by Gearbox. Sega's the publisher for it. It turns out Gearbox only did the multiplayer, where Timegate did the single player. And then even more of it was the DLC is outsourced somewhere else, and there's more things outsourced other places.
So wait, is the multiplayer good?
Apparently, the multiplayer is actually okay.
From
what I've heard. You know, and the fact that there's so many different companies working on this is
that's
what the fuck's
gonna be
going on?
like a communication nightmare.
Yeah.
Trying to get everybody to
And
work
see,
on the same page.
Gearbox, they kept pushing it back because they had games to release. They had Borderlands 1, they had Borderlands 2, they had Duke Nukem Forever. All these games, they kept pushing it back and
Was that
outsourcing
Gearbox
more.
that released that?
They made Borderlands.
No, I'm talking about Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah, they made Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh,
They've
I thought it was
hit
just some
and
random.
misses.
Oh, right.
They've had a lot of hit and misses. But there's just so much going into it, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. They have so many
Maybe
different
that- okay,
companies
so-
doing that.
Yeah. The biggest thing was to find their final pushback, which Sega was actually about to get into some legal conflicts with them because of how they kept pushing it back. And Sega allowed them one more pushback. It was 9 months. And then this time, because Gearbox, they couldn't release 2 games at once, which is just panning out to be. They were going to end up releasing Borderlands 2 and Aliens at the same time. And they couldn't do that. You cannot release 2 major games at the same time.
Why?
And so
is that like a law or something? Or
no, it's not a law. It's like it's
Hectic.
promotions, money, money because you have to print off the games, and
that makes sense.
it's kind of hard to just put out 2 games at once from the same company.
Yeah, especially if there's some kind of
I'm not sure of all the little
game-breaking bug
details about it.
in both. You have to fix both. Especially if
Yeah,
there's some,
yeah, that's it actually. I mean, that's just the biggest part.
Yeah.
You took updates and patches for everything, for both of them at the same time.
Yeah, that's.
And that's really splitting up your development team.
Okay.
But I going back on topic because I got out of it. They got that 9-month extension, right? And so they get to it, and then when they finally come back to it after Borderlands is released, they get back to it, and it's complete shit from what they had. Time gate, campaign made no sense whatsoever.
Hmm.
The boss fights were not even implemented yet. The PlayStation 3 was over memory, so you couldn't even play there. I mean, Timegate fucked up badly.
Sounds
and
like
this was nearing, the stretch, because Borderlands 2 came out in November, not that long ago, and so this is right after. They don't have a lot of time to fix this up. They gotta get to the point where they're like, okay, we just gotta push this out. We don't have time to waste. I don't care what the fucking state of it is. And like they even redid some levels completely from scratch. And just what the fuck were they thinking?
Yeah, that sounds terrible. I didn't know about the game. Good thing I didn't get pumped about the game.
Oh, there were so many people who were absolutely pumped for this game.
Oh, that always happens.
I know. Oh, dude, this game had so much hype to it, and then it just came crashing down.
Yeah, well, it sounds like a shitty game. I'm glad I didn't buy it.
Yeah, me too.
So I guess it just goes to show how not to develop a game. Get one person to do it, and then don't, have like a whole giant collaborative thing.
It also shows you should not be too eager to pre-order games.
Yeah, I guess that's true. You never know how it's gonna end up.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's two parts to this story, isn't there? Another thing to talk about?
No.
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 Okay. Maybe I'm thinking about something else.
I switched to Okay. My next article is so 11-bit Studios is taking a new pre-order direction.
A new direction for the pre-orders. Okay.
They're offering a game 50% off. They're gonna make. The way you can get 50% off is if you pre-order it before the game's even announced what it's gonna be.
Oh, so it's kind of like a mystery box kind of thing.
Yeah. So you're basically gonna pay probably $30 for a game and not even know what the hell it is.
Oh.
And this goes into the kind of line the Aliens. Don't pre-order. Do not fucking pre-order this. It could be the greatest game ever, but you don't know what the fuck it is. It could be something that doesn't even appeal to you. And
yeah, I guess it's kind of a gamble at that point because you're getting a nice little discount there, 50% off, but you're also you don't know what you're buying.
Yeah,
How did they?
What?
How did they think? I mean, from the general idea, this might be interesting, but how did they think that something like that would work in like a gamer's market per se? Like, how the fuck is that gonna work?
I think they kind of took a look at the Kickstarter and how people are getting funding for games before they're even created, and they're kind of like, oh, hey, we'll do that, except we're not going to tell them what it is.
Well, here's the difference with Kickstarter: is that a lot of Kickstarter projects they have a lot of concept, and you know what you're going to get.
Or maybe
no good Kickstarter game projects get backed unless there's actually some shit done to it. Because a lot of games are actually being polished with Kickstarter money.
Yeah.
And I think that shows the big difference here. This is basically just like, we could put out this shittiest fucking game, but we got your money now, so fuck you. It's what 11-bit thing with this. They could put out a complete piece of shit game, and it wouldn't matter.
I mean, honestly, I'm not going to feel bad for anybody who does get fucked over with this, because they know the risk that they're getting into, right, when they're paying the $30.
I wouldn't fucking do it.
It's stupidity. No way now.
I wouldn't buy it from 11-bit Studios, but because I don't know what the hell they make. But if it was like some other company that I really respected,
they're not bad though.
I would
buy not even Valve. If I didn't know what a game was about, nothing about it, I would not pre-order from anyone.
Given the history of games that Valve has created, I would probably gamble. I'd probably take the risk.
You do have a point there, because Valve is definitely one of the better customer service companies, and they put out great games. But I think it's the same reason they would never do something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
More respect for their fans than that.
They're also very transparent about how they run their business.
Yeah.
But for example, if Bungie had a deal like that, if I could pre-order the next Bungie game for 50% off, then I would totally do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like I might do it for Steam, even though I said I probably won't. Steam is a company I might do it for. I can't think of another company. The people who make The Witcher. I think I would do it for a game from them.
Honestly, I don't think they would do it for any
can't
kind of
think
Steam
of
game because I know that as soon as it comes out, like 3 months later, it's going to be off at 75% off, so I'll just buy it then.
The next
pretty
big sale
much.
is going to be cheap as shit. So I mean,
Yeah, they always do
It's,
awesome discounts.
it's a weird bit of mysteries in the gaming world, at least in the publisher side of it, or development side of it.
Hey, since we're talking about Steam and Valve, the Linux official Steam client
Oh
just came
yeah, I
out
wanted to talk
today.
about that.
Yeah,
Linux Steam's having a really big Linux sale.
yeah, 50% off all games. So if you're running Linux and you're still not running Steam, go and play it and get it and download some awesome games.
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
just switch over to Windows and then live a better life.
You mean a worse life, right? Anyway.
A decent life.
Whatever.
But also another thing I want to say is there's 500 to 600 GameStop locations being shut down in 2013.
Oh, wow.
What do you guys have any thoughts on that?
Well, I don't live in America. I've been to America. I've been to the game. That's actually like the only place I go, the only store I usually look forward to going, because we don't really have any good stores in this country. So, does it sound weird? Yes. Do I care? Not really. The reputation that GameStop has, according to Reddit, is not that good. I've heard some pretty bad stories about it. I've heard good stories as well, but I don't know. It's why? Is there a why? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing with GameStop. I don't mind them. I buy games from there if I want to have a game on console. But that's besides the point. Is that they have too many fucking locations. Okay, there's 2 malls that are near me. One has 2 GameStop locations in the same store.
I've seen that before. What the
It's
fuck?
a mall. Yeah, there's a
another
mall
one
right
that's
next.
down the street from me that has a GameStop in that, and there's a shopping center farther up down the street that has a GameStop in there.
So there's
And I think
4
there's another one
GameStops
in
on your street. You're saying?
I think then they're not my street, but you know what I mean.
No.
And
Yeah.
then if I go over to the next town, which is probably a 10-minute drive from me, if I would go right down the not highway but this road, and there's 2 or 3 GameStops in that town itself.
Holy
So
fuck!
it shows
Yeah, that's
these
a lot.
things up here just as often as Starbucks does.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. And
So
also,
I assume. I'm sorry. Is
I-
it just because is GameStop just trying to save up money, regain some money, or I don't know? Maybe they're not making huge profits since they have a bunch of locations they have to maintain.
I
wonder-
definitely think they're trying to save money or get some money.
I wonder
and I
if you
think
go
that-
in there with like a giant stack of games and you say like, "Can I trade my games in for your store?" And then they'll just give you.
Oh my god. I like GameStop for what it is, but do not trade games into them.
I've heard that's
Yeah.
complete bullshit.
Honestly, I don't
Yeah.
even remember the last time I bought or sold a game to GameStop.
If I were to
so
buy,
I'm-
say when Skyrim came out, when I bought that new, if I didn't like it and I wanted to just trade it in, they would have given me $30 for it, probably a month after it came out.
yeah, it's ridiculous.
They would have given me 30 or less for it.
I think I remember buying one game from there like a long time ago, and then they had this kind of deal where you could trade in 3 different games and get a new version of like a Halo game or whatever. And so I was standing behind these kids that came in with like 3 super like AAA titles like Halo 3, I think, and had like GTA and Modern Warfare or something. They came in and handed them in for one game of the same quality, and I was like, "What the hell are you doing?"
There's like no GameStops in Costa Rica.
No, there's no
Right,
GameStops. There are
how,
a few stores.
Do you see a lot of GameStops in Canada?
Well, GameStops are not called GameStops here. They're called EB Games, but it's owned by the same company, and they're pretty much the exact same
Yeah, we
setup.
have these things here.
Yeah, and there's a mall like just down my street, and there's 2 of those in that mall. So
Actually,
Why do they need
two?
2? Why?
it's not
Is
even
it,
that big of a mall.
Actually, here, GameStop completely bought out EB, and they changed all the store locations' names.
Well, you see, the thing is that there's one EB Games on one side of the mall, and there's another one on the other side of the mall. So if you don't feel like walking on the other side, you can just go there. I think
that's the only explanation I can think of.
There's see in the mall I'm talking about. There's 2 stories. There's one GameStop on its 2nd floor. Then directly under it is the second GameStop. Directly under it.
It's not like they even have stairs in malls. It's all escalators. It's not like, do we really want to go up the escalator? Nah, I'll just buy a game some other time.
Yeah, I'll just go to this one instead. It's all good. But I mean, unless you have anything to say, The Last of Us was pushed back to June 14th.
Oh.
I'm kind of disappointed about that because I'm really looking forward to that game, but I'm also kind of happy because there's more polish.
Oh yeah, it's better that they, it's better that The Last of Us is delayed and is polished rather than, have it come out early.
Yeah. And my last little announcement is Duke Nukem 3D is coming to Steam.
Oh! I thought it was already on
Steam. I played the
Steam.
shit out of that game when I was a kid.
I never played it, so, cool.
Great.
Duke Nukem 3D on Steam. I thought that it was already on Steam.
I have it. I have it off GOG.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Nukem 3D.
Well, that's fantastic. That's
the new gaming news segment, guys. And I want to move on to the next one.
Yeah, I believe the next one is my domain here. Well, I found
you're right about that, Astu.
Well, I found some pretty cool stories on the internets this week. The first one I want to talk about is this. What's it called? It is the what intersections will look like with self-driving cars. I think this is a pretty cool thing. They have a video here. I'll see if I can load up this video in just a second. But basically, as you all know, that Google has been working on these self-driving cars for about a year now, and it's really cool technology, and it would be really interesting to see what roads look like if everybody had self-driving cars. Of course, we have the movie iRobot, where people just sit in their cars and the cars drive themselves. But they have a video here of a simulation of what intersections would look like if everybody had self-driving cars. Here, I'll see if I can load it up right here on my screen. Here we go.
Oh my god!
And it's just mesmerizing.
I'm looking at it now, and it's
it's crazy. Like
I can only imagine. I mean, if you're on those sides, that's fine, but the very middle of it, that looks scary. That
imagine
you're just sitting in the
car and just that would be ridiculous.
And it's not like they're going in a straight line or anything. It's just like shifting from side to side. This is fucking crazy.
I know, right? It's mesmerizing to look at, but
I can't tell if that's absolutely fantastic or scary as shit.
Yeah, it's both. It's pretty fucking scary.
I think it's a little bit of both, but it's mesmerizing to look at. Just imagine one day your kids won't even be fazed by this. They'll be like, what are you so scared about every time we go past an intersection?
Back in my day, Sonny, we almost fucking died like that.
Intersections,
someone needs to make a GIF out of it so we can loop it over again.
Yeah, for sure. But I think it's really interesting because what other kind of benefits would we get from self-driving cars? We could have the machines being able to control more than just the pedal and the acceleration and the gas. They could be able to control like every single aspect of the car, maybe even push performance and efficiency out of them.
I think we'd actually have a bit safer driving environment, to be honest, because I know just driving to school and back every day, I encounter some dumb motherfucking people.
It's true. I mean, cars are like the reason, like one of the top killers for young people. And if we could just eliminate car deaths to like 2 a year, that would be, that would be very good. Yeah.
I think this is amazing, but it would be wrong to assume that society wouldn't actually do something with this idea, and they would just accept it. Oh, they're driving on its own. We're not going to alter anything. We're not going to touch them.
Oh,
They're just going to drive on its own.
There will be definitely people who won't want this change. Like, oh, I want my freedom. I can do what I want. I'm just going to drive.
I have a feeling it's going to come to a point where the human drivers are causing problems on the road, and we start having to outlaw them, saying that you can't drive your own car.
Definitely.
You have to have a automated one. I actually saw a headline this last week saying that the product manager for Google self-driving cars say that the technology is 3 to 5 years away, but they fear that legislation won't keep up, and that we're going to have to be pushing for this kind of stuff in the future. So, do you guys have any other thoughts on self-driving cars? Or?
How do you think they would push this? Like, actually get people to actually want to do it?
Give them self-driving cars. I mean, I want a self-driving car.
No, I mean, here's the thing. At least I know in America, of all places, people love their independence and being able to just take the wheel and go.
Right, but I think Americans
controlling us.
Americans like their laziness even more than they like their freedom.
I don't know, man. No,
I think
when it comes to the whole driving thing, people get really fucking defensive over here about it.
Well, I think the self-driving cars bring their own kind of efficiency to them. Like, imagine not having to drive your children to ballet practice or something. You could just put them in the car and say, "Car, go to ballet practice," and then they go by itself.
That's just fucking funny to think of. It's like, oh, you have ballet classes here. Fucking get in here and leave.
Car, LA, let's go. Boom, boom.
Or imagine being able to take a nap on your way to work in the morning.
Oh, definitely. I would love to be able to take a nap on the way to school.
Also, the self-driving cars, they could make traffic a thing of the past, because there would be like less accidents. There would be no kind of congestion. If there's a congested route, they could take a whole different route.
I noticed a few months back, so I can't exactly say how reliable this is, but I heard and that their test trials of the self-driving cars, that there's only 2 accidents with them, and they were all based on human error.
Yeah, that was the other driver's fault, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that as well, and I think that is a really strong claim, and if it's true, then that's great. But as we keep growing and growing, then more things will come into mind with self-driving car. Like, things will be developed with these things in mind, and they'll be even safer, and roads will be safer.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I would love to have I would trade in my cars for a self-driving car.
Yeah.
A car for a self-driving car.
I had to say something, or at least get something straight for me.
What's up?
If this were to happen, say in, I don't know, some state, whatever, Florida. No, wait, what? Did I just say no?
Just spit it out.
Fucking one state. Every fucking person that's gonna be on the road needs to use a self-driving car. For one person that disagrees with this and starts driving on his own, he's gonna fuck up everything.
Yeah, that is nothing to worry about.
So for one person that disagrees and says, no, I just don't, I like driving, it's an art, I really enjoy, it's going to ruin everything. No one else can use a fucking automatic cars, because this guy is not going to be able to think like every other car in there.
Yeah.
I think that the cars, if the kind of intelligence we have of computers, I think that they might be able to tell how the human is driving, if they could see it. Not see it, but...
Well, I think they're going to have to take into account for human drivers and say, oh, this is a human driver here, so be extra careful around him because he's an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's basically what they'll have programmed into it. I think it's basically what they'll have programmed into it.
I mean, right now they're being developed...
Human drivers, they're not intelligent.
Yeah,
The computer is more intelligent than the human driver is.
Yeah, right now these cars are being developed assuming that everybody's a human driver, and soon they're going to kind of evolve, and I think eventually it might become even more dangerous for a human driver to be on there just because they have to conform to these crazy standards and they have to think like a computer, and that might be difficult for them.
Yeah, I think convincing just one state or one town or whatever, every single citizen in there to use this car is going to be a really, really rough task, and nearly impossible, like as far as I can tell.
It'll happen, but it'll happen slowly, I think.
That's my biggest concern with it. That people won't be so willing to just give up their ability to just get out and drive themselves wherever they want.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the next topic that we have here. There's a story about a group of researchers that were digging in the South Pole in Antarctica, and they dug to the bottom of a very, very deep lake. They cut through 800 meters of ice to get to a shallow little pool of water about 2 meters deep, and they took some samples from it, and they found that there was life living underneath 800 meters of ice. That's almost a kilometer of ice, and things were living under there. Of course, there's no light getting down there, and they were still able to, get the energy that they needed to survive. So my guess is that this is either some kind of virus that's going to kill everybody in the next few months. So watch out for zombies because they might just unleash them. And I also think it gives a different kind of interesting experiment for life and how it can develop and be sustained.
I just want to say, in Alien vs. Predator, the motherfuckers are under the ice.
There you go. Maybe that's exactly what you mentioned aliens, but they think that I'm not sure if you're familiar. There's Jupiter's moon Europa. It has it might have been Jupiter or Saturn's moon. I'm not sure, but it's a planet made entirely of ice, and it has like a very thick layer of ice on the top. And they know that they have liquid water in the center of it, and they're thinking of sending a probe up there to drill through this ice, go to the bottom, and look for life there. Because
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and
I know a Titan is capable of supporting life.
Titan.
Jupiter's moon Titan. It can support life. It has a atmosphere similar to ours. I know that.
Yeah. Did I say Titan earlier? I think I meant.
No.
No, I said Europa.
Europa. It just, what your story relates to? It just shows how life can come to survive in the most.
Life will find a way.
Places. Yeah, life will find a way.
Yeah. It's definitely is an interesting concept, and I wonder how long that life has been isolated down there in that. Well, it couldn't have been recent.
It's been down there for millions of years before it's been uncovered.
Yeah.
Just growing and evolving in its own way. I think that stuff must have evolved a lot over the centuries.
It must be completely foreign to us. That's why I'm thinking it might be a super virus that's going to kill us all.
Hey man, I'm ready to take on the zombie apocalypse. I'm ready. It's go time.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll be eating those words. I'm sure you'll be eating those words in a couple months. Trust me.
But I'm one of the first zombies walking around. I mean, come on.
So, here's another space-like story. A few months ago, I talked to you guys earlier about this asteroid that's coming close to Earth.
We talked about it last week on the show.
No, I didn't talk about it last week. I've talked about it previously, though.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we talked about it another day when we were just bullshitting, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so this asteroid was discovered about just over a year ago, and it is on a trajectory to be right next to Earth in just a couple days. It's going to be orbit. It's about 50 meters in length, and it is traveling pretty fast. And it's going to be. It's going to have a near miss with the Earth in just a couple of days, and it's going to be coming closer than any of the geosynchronous satellites in orbit. So it's going to be closer than a bunch of asteroids.
That's fucking awesome. Does it say what time it's going to be passing by?
I'm not. I didn't catch the time, but you might be able to do some research on it.
Yeah, I think I might have to go watch that tomorrow night then.
Yeah, I believe the asteroid is called 2012 DA14. So if you want to look that up,
that is
from last year.
Yeah, well, it was discovered last year, so that's why they gave it the name 2012.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's so cool.
Yeah, of course, links to that will be in the
subreddit.
Yes, I will have that up as soon as this is over.
Yes, excellent. All right, I have one more news article on the schedule, and it is about the internet, very much so, and people wanting to get part of the internet. There's a bunch of farmers out in the middle of nowhere in England, and they were complaining about their internet speeds. They couldn't even like Skype with people because they had such shitty connections. So they decided to do something about it. They had a lot of land and a lot of resources, so they started laying out their own fiber optic cables out in the middle of nowhere, and they have incredible speeds because of it.
Yeah, I saw those speeds from the chart. Like, holy shit.
The speed tests, yeah.
Fuck me. 917.65 megabytes per second. That's
yeah.
Megabits. Megabits. It's different megabytes.
Sorry, yeah, I said sorry.
So like, and now these people, these farmers, they want to make their own internet service provider out. They start charging their neighbors, like $30 a month or something to get access to this internet. And I think that's really cool. People are understanding the importance of the internet and like reaching out and getting these awesome speeds and building something of their own, which I think is just awesome. Because right now all this internet infrastructure is owned by these huge giant companies, and they're basically creating a monopoly out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
well,
it's cool
not a monopoly because it's a ton of different companies, but they charge outrageous prices for it.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially with how shitty internet runs in some countries.
Mm-hmm.
And just the price they charge for it. It's fucking insane.
I would be extremely happy if I had those kind of speeds.
Oh, dude, definitely.
I wonder how fast these guys can download a car.
You wouldn't download a car, would you?
I think I would.
Yeah, me too. Which guys, that's their own supposed to know.
Yeah. So, Short, do you want to talk about your little...
Sure. I am pretty sure we are very, very, very short on time, right?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
Okay. We'll see if we ever get to this topic because I think there's enough information, and given the fact that Olio is a pretty big gamer, Astu is a kind of gamer. So I want to talk about the morality system. I've been reading a lot of blogs about it and videos and rants about it. And this specific blog that I chose, that's going to be in the subreddit, talks about how the moral choices in games such as Mass Effect, The Walking Dead, can you think of it? Fable 2, Knights of the Old Republic, Infamous, all these games that give you options suffer from different issues or the same. I don't want to go into every specific issue, but to give you a general idea, one of the biggest issues, and this goes for Mass Effect. I know Ashley has played Mass Effect.
I have.
And the same goes for Fable, which I recently played. There's this thing where you can be either really, really good or really, really bad. And between good and bad, it is really, really easy to pick, so it's not really interesting. Yes, it gives you a good feeling that you're making choices, but they're in fact really empty, and that's where I go to option number 2. Even if you have choices that are interesting to make, they have absolutely no impact. And one game that I really liked and suffered from it, and I know Olio has played it, is The Walking Dead. Some choices are hard to make, yes, but then you'll realize that there are a lot of fixed points, and the ending is pretty much the same. I'm going to make a huge
how you get to the ending is way different.
Isn't that mostly what the point of the game is just to make decisions in Walking Dead?
Yes.
But I could understand that being frustrating.
Spoilers, Short, if we're going to talk about The Walking Dead of this, don't say any spoilers.
Yeah, alright, I'll just not say.
But it does sound kind of tough if the whole concept of the game is to make decisions, and at the end of the game you have no real decisions or way of.
Well, I mean, you do have decisions at the end of it, because even towards the end, you're still guiding along.
Yes, that's
still guiding
that's true.
It along.
I mean, The Walking Dead is one very good example of a company that has done something right. I mean, the choices made in The Walking Dead are just fucking amazing. I mean, I was at the edge of my seat most of the time, and it was really good. But then when you realize the effect that it has on, the story itself, and then it seems like it's kind of empty. The reason being, for every decision you make, you gotta make even more options. For every one of those options, even more options. This means more content. This means more money, development, much more time. So that's pretty much one of the reasons why a lot of these options can't be added into games.
I think.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you.
Okay.
One, every choice you make in that game, it defines the whole plot, defines the whole story, how you're looked at by other characters, how you get along with the other characters. Every choice you make in that game means a lot. And so I wouldn't say that it doesn't mean anything, or it ends up being pointless.
It's not that it doesn't mean anything.
Because
I mean,
the ending is set to be how it is, because that's how it's supposed to end. But you take different routes to get there.
Maybe if you have games that are very story-based and they have like a very linear story, it might be tough to kind of implement that kind of choice-making stuff. But if you had some kind of big game like an MMO where you get to walk around and choose these things, maybe these decisions kind of how do I say this? Impacts how your character ends up and what kind of experience you get in the game.
Well, Star Wars, the Old Republic did that, the MMO.
Yeah, that's true, they did. But did that have any real impact on how the
story was great in that game.
I mean, here's the thing.
The overall game was not good.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I mean, I understand where you're coming from about The Walking Dead, but there really isn't a game out there that has pulled off a morality system well. In fact, I generally don't think so. I think one of the problems, and I've heard people say this, don't make good and evil a quantity. Don't make it, oh, you have +5 Paragon or that sort of stuff. Because that just makes it way too technical, and that really reflects no way into real life. Yes, I know real life isn't supposed to be all about video games. Video games are not about real life. But it's not...
No, I disagree, but go on.
I mean, I know there's supposed to be some surrealism. I don't know. It's not supposed to be exactly like real life, but it's not interesting if you just can tell exactly what's good and what's bad. What's the good decision?
Yeah, it would just be ridiculous if people could like acquire karma points or something to show how much better than the other people.
And now there's the other thing is that the other thing that other games I try to make, and Knights of the Republic, what it did was, if you're trying to be good, it's going to be harder. I mean, you're going to have to do much more. Fable 2 did this sort of thing where if you try to do the good thing, it gave you absolutely nothing good apart from being good. And it took some experience. BioShock, if you decide not to harvest the Little Sisters, you get less Adam. But all these, when you look at the actual data, it's very, very little that you have to actually what you have to sacrifice. So I think that if you're going to add morality, and the blog that I'm going to link, it says eliminate morality, I think it should just be fixed. The decisions should be a little bit harder. It shouldn't be just, either you want to be Hitler, you want to be Mother Teresa, or if I don't know, if you're going to do something good, make it actually hard, or make it actually hard to make the decision, like try to make you think. And that's pretty much where I stand.
You mentioned BioShock in there, and I just want to say that I played BioShock through several times. One time I played it where I saved all the Little Sisters, and then the second time I played it, I harvested all of them, and I gotta say, it was a lot harder to harvest them, just because you have to see them struggle and all that stuff. It made me cry every single time.
But the thing we were talking about, though, with the decision-making system, the thing why you don't have super hard decisions is because people don't want their games censored. If you make decisions that are too radical or hard to think about, like that are maybe go to too far of extremes, people are going to try and censor you. And that's why they don't go that far.
Yeah.
And they should just stop giving a fuck, is what I want to say.
I mean, as an art medium, I don't really agree that it should be that way. I know it's just the way it is, but...
Hey man, if you want to mow down a airport full of innocent civilians, I think you should be able to do that.
I'm Modern Warfare 2.
Yep. That's another thing where you can't really change what you do. And I just want to mention one last thing, and I know Zero Punctuation talked about this game. I haven't played it. I plan on playing it. Spec Ops: The Line. Did you play the game?
I was told that I have it. I have dabbled in it. I need to play it though. Basically, from everything I've heard about this game, it's not a game you enjoy playing. It's a game you get a story out of. You get an experience. It's a game that makes you see the darker sides of war. A game that's going to make you feel like you're going to see the fucked up shit he goes through and does.
Yeah.
And just it's a game that's you're going to say this is a great game, but you're not going to enjoy it pretty much.
So
it's a game that really deals with the dark side of things really well.
Yeah, it's either choose from the bad or choose from the really bad. It's really trying to weight the better situation. I know that many people felt guilty or just revolted by the end, but morally revolted, I guess. So I just wanted to get the topic by a quote that a lot of people say when they talk about video game morality, saying that a choice between good and evil is no choice at all. And I think this really applies to the moral system in video games. And I don't think it should be removed like the blog said. I actually disagree, but I think it should really be worked on. So it's just a powerful tool. And that's pretty much what I'm
I don't think that the really big publishing companies, they're like the AAA titles, I don't think they're going to really do anything revolutionary in that kind of sense. But I think a lot of these indie developers, they might have a brand new, interesting model, a way to...
Because indie developers will do it, but it's saying they want their game to sell with their own what they want, or do they want to go if it's popular? Is what you gotta think, you know?
Well, that's a good point, because a lot of AAA titles, they think that we want to make something that's popular and it's going to make us a lot of money, and a lot of indie developers saying, I want to make the game I want to make, and then if people like it, then they'll play that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely
maybe in the future we'll dwell into it. I try to make a compact version of it, but I think that's a pretty interesting topic.
I would definitely like to dive deeper into this topic another day.
Yeah.
We should come back to it at another time.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, do you guys have any last things you wanted to say?
Nope.
Thanks for watching.
Awesome.
If we have anyone outside our NAP
circle
who is watching this, who's outside of that, please guys, give us any kind of feedback, because we're really looking for feedback right now. Anything we can make better.
And if you like it, be sure to tell all your friends about every single one of them, because
to your family members.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, we have a YouTube channel that you're probably watching this on. The user account is Naps Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, and be sure to check out our subreddit at reddit.com/r/Naps Podcast. That's where we're going to have all the links that we talked about today in the episode. All these are going to be posting that up right as soon as we're done. And thanks for watching, guys. See you next week.
I really appreciate it.
Bye.
See ya.